friends, if you're preparing for competitive exams, you know just how much time compound interest can eat up. So let's just dive in and tackle this concept with a brand new, much smarter method.
You know it. I know it. Compound interest questions take up so much time. And in the exam hall, just one small mistake means your marks are gone. But don't you worry, by the end of this session, you are going to master this topic.
So, here's our master plan for today. We'll start right from the foundation, then look at some really smart methods and learn how to avoid those common traps where most people make mistakes. I'm Ayushi Agarwal, and you're watching this special session with me. So let's get this master plan rolling.
All right, Section 1. Let's first get a solid grip on the basic concept of CI. But hey, we're not going to use those boring old formulas, nope. We're going to understand this with pure, simple logic. Look, here's the deal. In simple interest, you only get interest on your original money, right? But compound interest, it's a whole different game. Here, you get interest on your principal, and you also get interest on the interest you've already earned. It's literally interest on interest. And that, my friends, is the core idea.
Okay, so let's put this concept to the test with a real exam-style question. We need to find the compound interest on 40,000 rupees at 10% per annum for 3 years. Sounds familiar, right? Now, you could solve this in two ways. There's the traditional formula method, which, sure, it works, but man, it can take up so much time in an exam. And then there's the smart approach. We call it the ratio method. It's fast, it's logical, and it's absolutely perfect for when you're under pressure. And that's what we're going to focus on. So let's break down this ratio method together, nice and slow. Step 1, we convert the rate into a fraction. So 10% becomes 1 by 10. What does this mean? It simply means for every 10 rupees of principal, we get 1 rupee of interest. So for step 2, for 1 year, our principal to amount ratio becomes 10 to 11. See? Simple rate? Now, for step 3, the time is 3 years, so what do? We compound this ratio 3 times, which is just a fancy way of saying we'll cube both sides. 10 cubed is 1,000, and 11 cubed is 1331. So our final ratio is 1,000 to 1331. Here, 1,000 units is our principal, and 1331 units is the amount. So how much is the interest? Easy. Just subtract 1331 minus 1,000, which gives us 331 units. And now for the final step. We know that our 1,000 units of principal is equal to 40,000 rupees. This means 1 unit is worth 40 rupees. So our interest, those 331 units, will be 331 times 40. And that gives us our final answer, 13,240 rupees. See that? No long, complicated formulas, just simple logic. That right there is the power of the ratio method. All right, let's move on. Now, in exams, you're not always going to get these nice, simple percentages. Oh no. The examiners love to try and trap you with tricky percentages. So let's see how our method holds up here. Take a look at this question. The rate is 11 and 1/9%. Just imagine, if you try to plug this into the traditional formula, how messy would that calculation get? That's the exact trap the examiner sets for you. But with our ratio method, this suddenly becomes super easy. Step 1, you just need to know that 11 and 1/9% as a fraction is 1 by 9. This means our principal to amount ratio is 9 to 10. Now for step 2, the time is 2 years, so we're going to square both sides. 9 squared is 81 and 10 squared is 100. So our final ratio, 81 to 100. The interest then is 100 minus 81. That's 19 units. Now we're given that the principal, which is 81 units, equals 24,300. From this we find that 1 unit is worth 300. So our interest will be 19 multiplied by 300. And the answer is 5,700 rupees. See how easy that was? This is exactly why, to really master this method, you first have to master your percentage to fraction conversions. It's super important. All right, now it's your turn. Go ahead and pause the screen, take your time, and try to solve this question using the same ratio method. Let's see what answer you get. Okay, I hope you gave it a shot. The correct answer is 18,200 rupees. The method was exactly the same. 20% means 1 by 5. For 3 years, you cube it, and the ratio becomes 125 to 216. Interest is 91 units, and since 125 units equals 25,000, 1 unit is 200, which makes 91 units 18,200. If you got that right, fantastic job. Okay, now we come to the part that is, from an exam point of view, the most important. So far, we were always given the principal, but very often in exams, the principal itself is missing. This is the examiner's favorite trap, so listen very carefully. Just think for a second. if the principal isn't given, will our ratio method still work? And if it does, how would you even approach it?
Let's take a look at this problem. This time, we're given the final amount, 46,656 rupees. Time is 2 years, rate is 8%. We have to find the original principal. Let's see how.
Believe it or not, the approach stays exactly the same. Step 1. 8% as a fraction is 2 by 25. So the 1-year P to A ratio is 25 to 27. Now for step 2. For 2 years, we'll square it, so the ratio becomes 625 to 729. So far, so good, right? Everything's the same. But pay attention now. This time, we're not given the principal's value. We're given the amount's value. So we'll set 729 units equal to 46,656 rupees. From this, we get the value of 1 unit, which is 64 rupees. Now all we have to do is find the principal, which is 625 units. So we just multiply 625 by 64, and the answer is 40,000 rupees. See? The method is identical, you just have to map the given value to the right unit at the end.
Okay, let's look at one final and very common variation. This time, we aren't given the principal or the amount. Instead, we're given the actual value of the compound interest itself. Let's solve this one. 4% means 1 by 25. For 2 years, the P to A ratio becomes 625 to 676. The interest is the difference, which is 51 units. Now we're told that these 51 units are equal to 3,264 rupees. This gives us the value of 1 unit as 64 rupees. So our principal, 625 units, becomes 625 times 64, which is 40,000 rupees. But wait a minute, when you look at the options, 40,000 isn't there. This is another classic trap. The examiner uses the none of these option to test your confidence. You have to always trust your method. All right, let's quickly summarize everything we've learned. This next slide is the most important one for your final revision. Make sure you remember these points in the exam. So it all boils down to this. Always use the ratio method. It's built for speed. The single most important step is converting the rate into a fraction. Then find the P to A ratio based on the time period. After that, just map whatever value is given in the question, be it principal, amount, or CI, to the correct ratio unit. And always be on high alert for the 3 big traps: the reverse questions, the tricky fractional percentages, and that sneaky none of these option. You can even take a screenshot of this slide to quickly revise before your exam. So now, whenever a compound interest question comes up, you can tackle it with confidence, can't you? You have the method and you know all the traps. You are absolutely ready. If you found this explainer helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And do let me know in the comments if you want a video on any other specific topic. Stay tuned to the channel for the next video. The link to the complete playlist is available.